Hi there, Tony here. This is Football Fan TV. I am not alone. I am with my brother Benji, one who has collected another trophy over the weekend. I think collecting trophies has become a habit for them. They want to dominate everything and they want to take everything. Benji, how you doing?
Bro, can't complain. Can't complain. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I'm doing amazing. Yeah.
You're not complaining because you went to Wembley and won against Manchester United. Dronix is not here, but he kept a screenshot that we're going to run on the screen here, and you see because he said keep this screenshot. Manchester United is going to be beating Manchester City in the FA Cup final, and we kept it. Actually, you're going to see it on the screen here. So that's what he said, but he had to swallow his words, and also we're going to drop some videos here of him as we are watching the game because we watched the game together on Saturday. Apologies, the match reaction and the post game reaction has come in late today on a Monday, but yeah, I see. So Manchester City 2, Manchester United 1, the FA Cup final at the Emirates, and then Pep wins his second FA Cup for City. Benji, thoughts on the game?
Well, what a start. That's the fastest goal ever. 12 seconds. It reminded me of the one that held the record previously, which I was lucky to watch. Louis Saha during his Everton days when he just joined. They had that terrific season where they knocked out the league champions of the year, Manu, penalties on semi-finals, and then they got to the finals against Chelsea. And they had that crazy start with a header from Fellaini, which ironically was the same move Manu tried to use when they bought Fellaini later on in his career. So
And it did work out.
and it didn't work out. So what a way for this! What a way to break the record. I was really excited about the game. I was super confident. I was attending Bachiga Nation, but I promised myself I'd watch the game with Dranix and you guys. So we made it to Telsba in Bukoto. Shout out to those guys. They have a very beautiful space. You should definitely check it out. And the game was, not disappointing. We didn't even need to kick into second gear. We just drove in gear one throughout. And yeah, easy peasy. Like I said, Manchester doesn't really carry a threat. So yeah, we saved the best for Inter Milan. Total domination, like in terms of chances on the other end. I think Manu only had like two shots on target, and yeah, you could clearly tell that the game plan worked in our favor. The first move of the game, Pep said it was supposed to, create space, but it ended up being a goal. And then the
Ended
second
up
one,
being a
people will
goal.
blame. Yeah, people will blame the hair, but for me, I blame the team. There's no hunger on the Manchester United team. When you look all around, it's like even Anthony, who has been criticized and didn't play this game, he chases the ball and plays with more passion than most of the guys on that team. So, yeah, for me, I was super excited about the performance. We saved our energy, and yeah, I can't wait, bro. Doing it against our noisy neighbors. The thing, like, the most exciting part is that it's them, and here in Uganda, the noisiest fans are Manu fans. Even when they're not winning shit, they make the most noise. So just like putting that statement there, you could tell the difference.
They said it is Arsenal fans who make the most noise, but I realize it is not us. It is these Manu chaps. They really talk a lot, man.
Yo, did you check your WhatsApp between 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. last night? There was no activity. Like no one was posting after they posted that Bruno had scored that penalty, which we predicted would happen in our last pod.
Yeah,
After they
yeah.
posted, after they posted that, they all went quiet. I was not even getting any DMs because most of my friends are Manu
A
fans,
United
and I
fans.
was like, wow, like come
It
on,
was
you
really the world was at peace on Saturday. Yeah, after that
know.
second Gundogan goal, the world just came. We got the peace we really prayed for. Thank you so much, Gundogan. Now the talking points first. The penalty that we predicted Bruno would score, was that supposed to be a penalty? It was so controversial that
Nothing, nothing.
Grealish was jumping, and then actually when you saw the ball hit his hand, his head was facing the other side. So literally, he didn't know what was coming his way. So VAR had to call that, and then they had to give the penalty after actually some minutes, like 2 minutes of the game running. So I believe it wasn't a penalty, but they got
Man,
lucky, and yeah, they got that goal.
for me, it wasn't a penalty. And then today during the Madrid game, they considered a similar penalty with Tony Cruz. He was jumping, and they headed the ball on his hand. when he's facing the other direction. So I don't really get it. There's no consistency, especially with British referees. But they tried to cheat for money. Like remember the second leg at OT when they won 2-1 during the season. They got lucky. Rashford was
Mm.
offside, and somehow they let the goal stand. So I felt like it was a deja vu, but I was never panicking. I just knew we had enough in the tank. I mean, it's our first team out there aside from the keeper. So yeah. Ichibete
Is
Chala. They
the
say that in
refereeing
Luganda. Ichibete Chala. Something that has been
is the refereeing
when someone cheats.
uh, go on, go on, go on.
Yeah. That statement in Luganda means something that, like, if someone cheats you, they're not going to get away with it. So that's exactly what happened for us.
Karma is a bitch.
Poetic
So
justice. Yeah.
it came in for them. So talking about the refereeing, Anthony Taylor was the referee in the finals of the Europa League. That was last week. Was it on Wednesday? Yes, on Wednesday. And there was a clear handball that was supposed to go Roma's way, but he waved it off. He didn't even want to look at it and all that. So I think at the end of the game, Mourinho was loggerheads with him. I don't know if the refereeing in England is really that good.
Well, him and his family were attacked at the airport by fans. I think that's too much. I think that's going a little too far. But
Mm.
at the end of the day, I believe instead of the Premier League playing the empathy card and saying since he has gone through that, we should let that slide. I think FIFA needs to come up with a statement that shows that probably he should have checked it out, maybe suspend him, maybe fine him, because the rules are there for a reason. If a call is in doubt, I mean, you have VAR. But then also this thing of having a VAR team or a refereeing team that's all from the same country, I think because they're like buddies, it's like me and you being refs. I'll be like,
Countries, the
I'm not
country
going to make,
language.
yeah, I'm not going to make Tony look funny, so I'll not call him to come and check it out. And yet that was the right thing to do. They were supposed to review that and then come to a decision. The guy dished out like 10 yellow cards in that game, and he had no problem doing that. But just running over to review a potential penalty, he didn't do it. So for me, I think it's poor referee. There's been this story about the referee for the Champions League final this weekend. Apparently, he has some political ties to the right wing, which is almost like neo-Nazi kind of stuff. So hopefully, his political affiliations don't make him a funny referee. Because I mean, it won't be nice seeing Mussolini's boys coming away with a trophy just because of a referee. So yeah, I think it's a contentious. It was
Anyway,
a very contentious call.
Anyway, back to the game. Gundogan scores again, and every time he scores, it's like he scores two goals and he fails to make a hat trick because his third goal was ruled offside, and that was going to be his first career hat trick. How good was he during the game?
You guy, I don't know if you've seen those memes of with that famous Ronaldo haircut where he had like only hair here.
Yeah, yeah,
Ronaldo de
yeah, yeah,
Lima.
yeah.
So people have compared
Gundogan. Yeah, good.
people have actually compared Gundo to primetime Zidane and primetime Ronaldo because towards the end of the season, it's like he just gets
He
activated into
turns
some
up.
extra layer. He turns up. And as much as we are sad that he's probably playing his last minutes for us, for me, I'm just soaking it all in and appreciating the kind of professional that he is. I mean, he's showing us how football should be played. Even though you've made up your mind that you're leaving, put in your best shift and turn up until the last minute. Like, don't just lull because you're leaving. And even if he decides to leave, I think this is the perfect send off as the captain, winning all two trophies. Hopefully, the third trophy as well this weekend. And man, his form is just incredible. Haaland gave him a penalty, hoping that he would get a hat trick in the last
Mhm.
game, and it didn't happen. So yeah, I guess it will be one of those odd things. Like, how come Gundo never got a hat? Or probably saving it for the Champions League
What is
final. Who
that?
knows?
Maybe it might happen. He might score those three goals. Hopefully, he does it, and he does it at City. Then De
Yeah,
Gea, people are blaming De Gea for both of the goals, and he has those errors in his locker. I believe this is not the first time this season he has done it. So they were cursing him. Everybody was attacking him, and yeah, what do you think? De Gea was he at fault for the two goals they conceded?
nothing. I wouldn't blame De Gea for the first goal, especially because it was just the first. It's not even the first 15 seconds. It's a straight ball. Your defense should deal with that. You can't give a player of Gundogan's quality all that space. And he's caught flat-footed. He couldn't adjust on time. The shot was perfectly hit. It was a very nice technique by Gundo. Like, let's give credit where it's due. Yeah. It's not like it was a flat shot with no accuracy. It was very accurate, right in the corner. And then the second goal, again, he's blindsided by Varane and Lindelof, who didn't get close enough. It's a free kick, and you've given so much space to three possible shooters. There was Foden there, there was Gundo. There were three guys lining up for that pass from KDB. You know KDB is going to give an accurate pass,
I
and
believe
somehow
there was
there's
Rodri
all
as
that
well
space.
on those who are waiting for those second
Yeah,
balls.
there's Rodri as well. Who, yeah, and he has had quite the crackers this season. So
He
for
always
me,
scores
it's
crackers.
easy to blame the hair. Many fans this season have had the most excuses, and to me, I'm going to like point it out. Like when the things they've celebrated this season are absurd. Like the only screenshots you see them post, one was the hair's golden glove, and the second one was the fact that they have it was absurd. I've forgotten it. Number of times where they have qualified for Champions League. It was a very silly stat that there's not even doesn't even matter. But they've been moving it around so much, like praising their team
And the
for a
small
very silly
cup,
accomplishment. I remember it.
the
Not
small
even the
cup they
small
took.
cup. It was something else. There's something else in the Premier League. I'm gonna find it in my phone.
Mm,
But the point I'm trying to make
yeah,
is when they lose, they find someone to blame. When Casemiro was uh was always
was
suspended, they would blame
suspended.
it on no Casemiro. When Rashford was injured, they blame it on no Rashford. They always pick one individual to blame, and yet as a team, they didn't do shit. Yesterday's game was so easy. We didn't even need to play at any level. Like we just played at basic level, like amateur mode, and we still beat them. They were not chasing. They were not hungry. Ganacho came in and sparked some life, but that was just Ganacho. The rest of the team, Sancho, I didn't see Sancho the whole game. I didn't see Rashford in the whole game. And honestly, blaming it on the hair is not fair because even if they didn't concede those ones, they were going to concede a different kind of goal because Man City was go ahead and score. So for me, I do not agree with that narrative.
I think Ganacho came on and he looked a little bit lively. He was a live wire when he came on. I believe he should have come on earlier. The turnoff was maybe Vegas coming in. I don't understand how he came in. He didn't really do shit, and basically
Yeah.
Manu was
Oh yeah,
being
I've
Manu
remembered
at
the
that point.
stat that Manu
Yeah,
fans, the stat that Manu fans
yeah,
were
go on.
posting around is the fact that they have the most top four finishes in the Premier League history, 26 of them. Like that's for them that was a huge accomplishment this season. So they had to show it off to the whole world. Please display it on the pod. I've sent it to
Yeah,
you guys.
yes,
You can have it up on the screen. Like wow, it's none. Anyway,
they've got to that level. Anyway, before we end this one, who was your man of the match?
Gundo. Aside from the
Gundo was your
goals,
man of.
he didn't really have like any misplaced passes. He was running the tempo for our team. He knew when to go faster, when to go slower. KDB had a few missed passes because he was trying so hard to create opportunities and he was doing those audacious passes that he always does. But Gundo just didn't put a foot wrong. So for me, it was definitely Gundo.
Okay, I think I'll go with you. I'll go with Gundo as well because of the two goals he scored. He won the FA Cup for Manchester City. I'll give a special shout out to Stones as well. Like when we're watching the game, I told you he was loving life in the midfield, running like he's a natural midfielder. And Casemiro was who? I think Casemiro was the McTominay of Manchester United in that game because Stones was really running. Stones could run from his box to the other side, and then he just
Yeah.
lays the ball off, gives a pass. So he had a good game in the midfield. So Casemiro wasn't really in the game. The midfielders, they were bodied. The Man U midfield was so much bodied by City. So, but I'll still go with you.
Where was Ericsson? Where was Ericsson?
Ericsson actually had to be removed, and oh my days, he was not having a time of his life. He was having a nightmare. He had to come off. Actually, at some point, Granit was mad because Ericsson doesn't press. Ericsson misplaces the ball. Ericsson's body language is totally off. So anyway, I think they brought him to work for this
Wembley,
season only. He has had the assist.
yeah.
We hope maybe they get a better midfielder next season.
Wembley was the theater of nightmares for Man U.
It was a nightmare for Manchester United. Anyways, congratulations to City. They deserve it. The last one is now the Champions League that we are